Welcome back to Alaska and day 4 and the final day of the multi-night land component of our cruise tour adventure. Today we had an incredible day cruising on the Chena River on the riverboat Discovery sternwheeler, with the bush plane pilot touching down next to the Discovery and native Athabascan guides inviting us into their village. The riverboat Discovery is owned by a family called the Binkleys, whose steamboating history here in Fairbanks goes back 5 generations. And I love that about Alaska. I love that the connection to their history is deep and it is real. Fairbanks has a uniqueness of extremes that is almost unparalleled. In the depths of winter, the temperatures regularly drop to -20, and in the summer, average 40. May through July, the arc of the sun in the sky elevates to the point that there are 70 straight days of sunlight, and in the winter, a muted sun barely reveals itself. August through April, that darkness reveals Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. And on clear nights, these skies become a canvas of color. It is the gates to the Arctic and home to some of the hardiest and most real people that you'll ever meet. This is a fabulous destination. So this is it. We've had 11 glorious days in Alaska. 7 nights cruising the southeastern coastline on the newly revolutionized Millennium, and 4 nights in the interior of Alaska on a Celebrity Cruises land tour. And this, for me, is what it should be, traveling in Alaska, exploring the coastline and the interior. Now, it wouldn't be a day in Alaska with us without meeting a local, and we were fortunate enough to spend some time with the captain of the riverboat Discovery. But before we meet him, let me say this. Come to Alaska. It will be a life-enriching experience. And we at Celebrity Cruises would love to bring you here and share our passion for this destination. But above all else, come to Alaska. Captain Ryan, thank you for spending some time with us to talk about your day and your life here on the Chena.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
We appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been captaining on the Chena, and what is it like to navigate a river like this?
Well, I've been doing this for a long time. This is a family business, and so I grew up going to work with my parents when I was 5 years old. I got my captain's license to drive this boat when I was 18, so I've been doing it for over 20 years now, and it's fantastic. It's a big boat, and it's purpose-built for these shallow rivers that we have in interior Alaska. We've been running boats like this in this part of the world for over 100 years, since the Klondike Gold Rush in 1898.
Can you tell me how the riverboat got started with the Binkley family?
Yeah, it started with my great-grandfather, Charlie Binkley, who grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana in the late 1800s. And like a lot of young men at the time, was restless and yearned for adventure. And as gold was being discovered in California and then farther north, he moved west and then north with the gold strikes, eventually hiking over the Chilkoot Pass down into Lake Bennett in the Yukon Territory in 1898 for the Klondike Gold Rush. Yeah. But he wasn't a miner. He had no interest in mining. He was a boat builder and a boat operator by trade. And so he immediately launched a career doing just that, building rafts and boats to carry miners and suppliers and all sorts of people up through the Klondike in southeastern Alaska. Eventually our family moved up into the interior, this area, and did the same thing for many, many years. And my grandfather, his son, operated on the Yukon River, the Tanana, the Chena River that we're on today for over 20 years as a deckhand, and then eventually up to being a captain as well.
A lot of opportunities to make that fortune, not just in the mining back in the day when you're on in Fairbanks.
That's right.
So you've got this incredible operation here today, and I've been coming to Fairbanks for 6 to 7 years now. I've been with you guys, with the Binkley family, countless times here on the riverboat Discovery. And one of the things that I love is that the history that is shared with the visitors who come here on the riverboat Discovery. And I see how much it means to the visitors when that history is shared with them. What does it mean to you to be able to share that history with the people who come here?
Well, I mean, Brendan, we're so lucky. We're blessed to get to share this place, this extreme climate, and the history of this place with our visitors and our guests, and to show them what it's like for us living here today, but also what it was like for the original people from this land 10 or 12,000 years ago, because today life is easy. We've got heated garages and convenience stores and cable TV. But imagine 12,000 years ago living in this valley with none of those things, without mosquito repellent or any of those things, living off the land in a very extreme climate that can reach 80 or 90 above in the summertime and 50 or 60 below zero in the wintertime. And so we're very, very fortunate to get to tell that story to our visitors, tell the story of the bush pilots, the dog mushers, all of the colorful characters that make Alaska unique.
I love it. Captain Ryan, thank you for spending some time with us, and you have an incredible season.
Brendan, thank you, and thanks for coming.
You got it.